What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash. Welcome back to the channel, and in today's WWE news video, there's a lot to talk about because I'm going to be talking about the new location for the WWE ThunderDome post-Tropicana Field, post-WrestleMania. Also, the reason why Andrade left WWE, and also, I'm also going to be talking about whether or not the Rated R Superstar WWE Hall of Famer Edge is now a heel post FASTLANE, and the real reason why Daniel Bryan, and the reason for Daniel Bryan's Hall of Fame mishap, if you will. The big question is Daniel Bryan getting inducted into the Hall of Fame? That I'll be talking about later on in this video, but let's start with the ThunderDome. Obviously, you guys know the ThunderDome has been such an incredible thing for WWE. This whole thing with the ThunderDome started back in August, right around WrestleMania weekend, where we saw the first, I think it was a part of SmackDown. SmackDown was the first show to do the ThunderDome, and it took place at the Amway Center in Orlando. And it's interesting because from that point up until I think it was like October or November or something like that, like somewhere around there, the ThunderDome was home to the Amway Center was actually home to the ThunderDome for Raw, for SmackDown, and for a hot minute, actually, for a minute, 205 Live, and then of course the pay-per-views as well. But of course now 205 Live has transitioned over to the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, or I guess the Performance Center, so to speak. But we found out that per a press release not too long ago, WWE has announced that they're going to move from that after WrestleMania, they're going to host Raw. The first Raw after WrestleMania, it's going to be taking place at the University of South Florida at the Yuling Center. I know I completely butchered it. But the news had broke via a press release, and they're actually going, from what I understand, apparently, I guess apparently they're going to, according to reports, WWE plans on pre-taping the go-home episodes of Raw and SmackDown from Tropicana Field, in which it'll happen on March 30th and March 1st, which are the same days that the Hall of Fame tapings have been scheduled for. So my assumption is that once we get into the Hall of Fame ceremony, which will be streaming on Peacock in the US and of course the WWE Network everywhere else, from what I understand, my assumption is that it's gonna be two separate videos. Two separate videos, so to speak. One for the 2020 class and then one for the 2021 class. Obviously, we know that that as of now, Kane, the Great Khali, Eric Bischoff, and Molly Holly are the first four inductees into the 2021 class. And then, of course, for the 2020 class, we have the NWO, Jushin Thunder Liger, the NWO, Jushin Thunder Liger, the Bella Twins, and if I remember right, I think that's it, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly, but I think that's it. Originally, we did have Batista, but because of that, but because of the pandemic, Batista has been taken out of the Hall of Fame because he actually wants to thank the fans properly when they're actually in attendance, which I don't blame them. But according to this press conference, according to the press conference, I'm actually seeing it on a website. Not gonna say what it is. Don't want to get copyrighted. Don't want to get copyrighted. So you guys, I hope you guys can understand. But apparently the press conference, just talks about where it's located. Where the new ThunderDome locations being being located, and it talked about how last August it was a part of the Amway Center for the last like couple months, and then transitioning to the Tropicana Field for the last like 4 months. And now being now moving to the University of South Florida, and it also talks about how many fans from around the world have registered to be a part of the ThunderDome. Get this, 650,000. That's a lot of people. It also there's also a link. So if you guys do want to be a part of the ThunderDome virtually, the website is www.thunderdome.com. You guys can check it out. Big shout outs to the website. Yeah, but honestly, my thoughts on it, I think it's a great idea that they're changing it up. But obviously we know why. It's because of the fact that it's because of the upcoming MLB season. Now that the Super Bowl, now that the NFL season is done, the MLB season is coming up, and it'll be coming up on April 9th. So it's going to be interesting to see how this will play out. But obviously with WrestleMania looming, it doesn't surprise me. But I love it. I think it's great that I think the ThunderDome has been extremely successful, in my personal opinion. I think the only downside to it, I think, is just the lack of fans. It's just the fact that we're not getting paying. We don't have paying fans coming into the venues anymore. But it's obviously because of the pandemic. So it's not. It's. It is what it is. But, of course, too, with WrestleMania, from what I understand, the rumors I've heard, there's going to be well over 45,000 people, which is at a 75% capacity. Honestly, I don't think that's wise. The reason why I say that is because even though millions of Americans have gotten the vaccine, which I'm still waiting to get mine. The pandemic can still be a major threat to WrestleMania, but obviously I believe the fans will be wearing the masks just as a precautionary. So I think that will be the case, but we will find out at WrestleMania. But that being said, now the big question is Edge heel? Let's talk about that for a second because let's go back to FASTLANE. I think it was this past Sunday where we saw a Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, with Edge, the Rated R Superstar, the winner of the Royal Rumble, as the special guest enforcer. It's funny because when you're the special guest enforcer, you have power. So if the initial referee gets taken out, then you can step in as the referee. That's how it works. Not only that, but when you're outside the ring, you also get to make sure that nobody's cheating or anything like that. And that was Edge's job this past Sunday at Fastlane. But if you guys saw the match, that match, Daniel Bryan, or I guess rather Jey Uso, brought in a steel chair, super kicked Edge, super kicked everybody, brought in a steel chair, and Daniel Bryan meant to hit Roman Reigns with the chair, but instead he hits Edge, and that forced Edge to retaliate, which begs the question, is he a heel? I don't think so. I don't think he is, because it's funny because when you think about it, Edge was already heel many years ago. Years ago, and his actions at Fastlane didn't really, scream, oh, look at me, I'm a heel. It just screamed, look, dude, you attacked me, I'm attacking you. That's how it works. You guys get what I'm saying? It's funny because when you think about it, who's really the heel in this matter? Is it really Daniel Bryan or is it really Edge? I mean, don't get me wrong. The promos that they've cut over the last several weeks, have screamed, heel, but with Edge, that was a style. He was always cutting heel promos while getting cheered by the fans. So, is he really a heel? I really don't see it. I think it's just a way. I think it's just WWE's way of pushing, pushing the whole dynamic of, the dynamic of the match going into WrestleMania. I think that's how it works. I think that's how it is in my personal opinion. But honestly, but it's funny because if Edge really is a heel, let's say that. Let's say as an example he is a heel. Daniel Bryan gets put back into the Universal title picture going into WrestleMania. Look at it this way. We're having WrestleMania 30 all over again. Because if you guys remember WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, we had Randy Orton as the WWE Champion, Batista as the Royal Rumble winner, and Daniel Bryan as the dark horse of the match. That's what this is about. That's what this is. Roman Reigns is the champion. Edge is the winner of the Royal Rumble and earned that title shot. Daniel Bryan's going in as the dark horse. So if you think about it, again, is Edge really a heel? I don't think so. I think this is just a way for WWE to ignite even more fire into the flame. That is the rivalry between Edge and Roman Reigns. But with that being said, now the big question is, why did Andrade leave WWE? Well, apparently, according to some reports, there was a I guess a sort of like a interview, I guess, with a source called Sports Kita. Big shout outs to them. Don't want to get copyrighted, but big shout outs to Sports Kita. Apparently they were speaking with former WWE superstar Epico, who actually who was part of the Black Wednesday, who was part of the massive release from last year, if I remember right. And he had spoke about Andrade and whatnot, and he talks about how it was a matter of not being used a lot. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Obviously when Zelina Vega got drafted to SmackDown, and Andrade ended up staying on Raw, and as did Angel Garza, the whole dynamic just crumbled. It just crumbled so badly. But if you guys remember, Andrade and Charlotte Flair are actually dating in real life. Outside of WWE, they are together. If you guys are not familiar, if you guys don't know, they are dating, which explains why they both stayed on Raw, and Zelina went to SmackDown. But let's also not forget who else went to SmackDown. That's Aleister Black, who, if you guys haven't been following Zelina's YouTube channel, which I am, they're actually married. So yeah, and if you haven't been keeping up with Up Down Down as well, it's all there. It's all there. Trust me, guys. But but again, Epico, had spoke with Andrade, and Andrade mentioned that it was just it was a matter of not being used a lot. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me, but that's the reason. It's because he wasn't being used during, right after the draft, but right before, before the draft, he was being put into so many title, matches, different title matches over the months. But once the draft came around, it was all done. It was all done. His career was going downhill. Honestly, I don't really know. I don't know what happened next, but there's rumors going around saying that when he goes back, to the independent scene and whatnot, he's apparently he had another character name called La Sombra. If you guys know anything about it, let me know in the comments below, because I don't know anything about it. But yeah, I mean, big shout outs to Andrade. Best wishes in his future. I mean, will he come back to WWE? Honestly, who knows? Honestly, only time will tell. But with that being said, now the big question is Daniel Bryan really in the Hall of Fame? The answer, unfortunately, is no. So, without trying to... Hang on. What is going on with my laptop? My laptop is being stupid. But anyway, according to reports, there was a Eric Bischoff collection on the WWE Network, and the subtitles had listed Daniel Bryan as an inductee, which apparently, again, it was meant for Eric Bischoff, and yeah, so it was an accident. It was added incorrectly, and it was removed, but again, that ties into my question: should Daniel Bryan be inducted into the Hall of Fame? I think so. I think yes, because when you think about it, when you think about Daniel Bryan and all of his accomplishments and everything that he's contributed to WWE, think of his accomplishments. He's a 4-time, 5-time world champion. He's a former United States champion. He's a 2-time tag team champion. He's a former United States champion, a former Money in the Bank winner, and it was because of Daniel Bryan that Connor's cure was around, and the reason why we have Connor's cure was because of was the fact that Daniel Bryan was supporting Connor the Crush, Connor McCulloch, who sadly passed away 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks after WrestleMania 30, mind you, and he was only 8. So just talking about it is kind of it will upset you. Trust me. But I mean, again, the big question is: should Daniel Bryan be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. I think he deserves it. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And the big question: will he get inducted into the 2021 class? I don't know. That's a question that's up for debate. But I don't know. That's kind of that's an interesting question to answer. But again, my theory, I think so. With all of his accomplishments, with all of his contributions, it's what got Daniel Bryan to have such a Hall of Fame career. And if you think about Kane, he's he's a former WWE champion. He's a former World Heavyweight champion. He's a former ECW champion. A 12-time tag team champion, if you could believe that. A multi-time Intercontinental champion. A Money in the Bank winner. And a former Hardcore champion. And a former 24/7 champion as well. So he's done a lot. Plus, Kane is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Yes, he is the mayor, if you can believe that. And of course, Khali, former world champion. He was one of the biggest men that we ever had in WWE history. And Bischoff, come on, it's Eric Bischoff. It's Eric Bischoff, the creator of the Elimination Chamber. Yeah. Not saying any more about that, and the fact that he ran WCW as well. Molly Holly, a former women's champion, former hardcore champion. It doesn't get any better than that. The 2021 class doesn't get any better than that. Might as well add Daniel Bryan into the mix. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day: should Daniel Bryan be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel. And you guys want more WWE news videos, which gets posted every Thursday. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. If you guys have any fan mail you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.